Rugerverse and all of my superstars. It is your boy Rick Ruger. And Jake Harrow is lying again, y'all. Y'all heard me right. Jake Harrow is a freaking liar. And I'm about to tell y'all why here in just a moment. Now, as y'all saw from the very beginning, Jake Harrow has been a liar. He's been a manipulator. Every woman, every person really that's come into his life, Jake Harrow has tried to spin some sort of story or another to make himself seem like this great person that we all know now that he's not. Jake Harrow, he's a person that he hasn't even worked. Like, he's an employee at Walmart, right? Jake Harrow hasn't even worked in the last year. He's literally a dude that sits around the house all day. He lives off a workers' comp from Walmart because he's faking and exaggerating a shoulder injury that happened like way back when. He's been milking this shoulder injury since way back when, like over 12 months ago. And he's still continuing on with it. Still going along with the, oh, my shoulder hurts injury, and pretty much just stealing time from Walmart, encouraging Rebecca to do the same thing. And word is, like, both of them are like meth heads. Like, they don't work. They literally lounge around doing nothing. So everything that Jake says, like, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt, because it's either completely untrue or he's trying to spin the truth in his favor. Jake Harrow told the police that he mistakenly rolled over on the baby. He told the police that he mistakenly rolled over on baby Emmanuel, and that's what led them to investigate the field that they were in. So they're out there searching in this field. They're looking for baby Emmanuel's remains because that's what he told them. This dude had the nerve to tell them that, oh, mistakenly in the middle of the night, I rolled over on baby Emmanuel. And I felt so bad that I took him to this open field and I buried his remains somewhere where I could come and mourn him. First off, Jank, you ain't mourning nobody. You don't even feel bad about what you did to your 10-week-old daughter. So how the hell you think I'm supposed to believe that you feel bad enough for baby Emmanuel, even if that is the case that you rolled over on this baby? We all know that's BS. We know it's BS. You ain't rolled over on nothing. If anything, you rolled your fist and your open hands around that baby's neck, maybe. We know that all the injuries that happened to Promise, your 10-week-old daughter, it's no telling what the body would tell, like the story that body would tell when they find baby Emmanuel's remains. That's your biggest fear. They don't want Rebecca and Jake, they don't want baby Emmanuel's remains to be found for that reason specifically. They know once the body is found, it's going to tell a horrific story of exactly what they did to baby Emmanuel. And not only is it going to show like up until the end, it's going to also show over time the trauma, the abuse that they put this baby through. And that's what they fear the most, because they don't want people to know exactly how horrific they are. That's why these people are disgusting. You know, like, even up until now, Jake and Rebecca have both done jailhouse interviews in which they're still maintaining this kidnapping story that they've already been charged for a false police report for. The police clearly have evidence that they made a false report, and the police are alluding to the fact that they have a generalized idea of where the remains are. Yet you see these two, they're still trying to maintain this this aura of innocence. How? Struggling, bro. You will get better. They're still trying to maintain their innocence when, in fact, we know that you did something horrific to this baby. You did something horrific to him, and I could tell that Jake, he's been through this before. You know, Jake, he's so cool-hearted You could look at his demeanor and tell. Like, look at Jake in the courtroom. In the courtroom, Jake didn't even have the balls to look at the public, the people that are holding him accountable for what he's done, not only just to baby Emmanuel, but also to his daughter. You got people holding him accountable, the public, and he didn't even have the balls to look that way. Only thing he could do is keep his eyes straight forward. You didn't even look at your wife. You didn't even look at your wife. And that's why I find it so funny that Jake is telling a story in his jailhouse interview. He's trying to say that, oh, the police, they flung me on the floor. They flung me on the floor and hurt my shoulder again. And the fact that he's going along with this narrative talking about, oh, the police, he's literally trying to line himself up for some sort of civil case where he goes against the police and telling them that, oh, y'all damaged my shoulder worse than it was. You know, the same shoulder that he's on workers' comp for from Walmart. He's trying to make a scene talking about the police. They flung me on the floor when all I was trying to do is tell my wife I love you. Meanwhile, we just saw you in the courtroom with your wife, and you didn't even look her way. You see Rebecca in the courtroom, and she's trying to side-eye him. She's trying to look his way. We got Portugal in the building. Salute. She's side-eyeing him. She's trying to look his way subtly just to see if she could make eye contact with him. And he didn't even have the balls to do that. So you want me to sit here and believe that all of a sudden you feel so bad and oh you miss your wife so much that the police, they flung you for no reason when all you were trying to do was tell her you love her? Nah, you was trying to tell her something in code. You was trying to probably threaten her and manipulate her further to make sure that she continues on with this charade, this act that y'all been putting on for the public. And yeah, she's been doing it because, like I told y'all, like, there's all types of ways that his manipulation can continue on, even from where he is, you know? Even from where he's at. There's all types of ways. Let's go ahead and get the troll out of here. Causing disruption. We got Ari Lee Ray in the building. Salute. This dude is literally complaining, and that's the funny thing about this narcissist. The fact that he complains so much is so girly to me. It's so freaking girly. Because it's like, bro, like, you can do all these heinous crimes. You can be so brutal to women and children. However, in the same breath, like, you, every chance I see, you're always complaining. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Then the police, they had to double cuff you because I'm sure you was complaining about that too. Oh, the cuffs are too tight. What you expect? Look at what you did. I was happy to see them walk your stupid ass through the cactus field, and you had the limp. That's probably why you was walking with a limp afterwards. Yeah, because they had you walking through that through the cactuses, and I'm glad. But guess what? You're in for a world of pain that you have not yet seen yet, bro. Once you get to prison and the protective custody and all that shit is over with, guess what? It ain't gonna be, a lot of these prisons, they don't have the means to protect you like that. And even the ones that do have places where they can house the PC people, guess what? It's not hard for a gangster to tell them motherfuckers to put him on PC just so he could get to you. So I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the stories about what happens to Jake Harrow, the baby beater, the woman abuser, when you get there. You know why? Because everything that you got coming to you is exactly what you deserve. I'm surprised it didn't happen to you yet. I'm surprised all these women that you've been out here abusing here and there, you got like a pattern of abuse where you marry these women. It's not even like side girls. This ain't side chicks that you doing this with. You marry these women, have babies with them, abuse them, and then you beat the kids. It's funny because the same things that you told Vanessa, mind y'all, just like we talked about in the last blog, and if you ain't seen that, check that out after this one so you can get an in-depth breakdown of Promise's story. The 10-week-old daughter that Jake beat half to death, and a judge, Judge Moore, thought it was fit to give this loser a 6 month work release sentence. He gave him 6 months on work release, and the dude spent like 24 hours in jail for damn near unaliving his daughter. Yeah, he almost unalived his daughter. We got Bruce in the building. Salute. He damn near unalived his daughter, and the judge thought his exact words was, "You know what? I'm gonna cut you an extra break." Extra break? What? You got dudes that literally have a dime bag of crack in their pocket and get 5 to 10 years. But this dude deserves an extra break. And then you got Rex, the dude that just entered the chat. Of course, he's telling me this. You know why? Because he's probably on the side of Jake Harrow. He probably goes home and beats his kids, like excessively, using way excessive force because he's mad at how life is treating him. He's mad that his girl don't respect him. He's mad that the world, his boss, when he step out his house, he's probably a nerd. Nobody fucks with him. So you got guys like Rex that are coming to a chat like this just so they could get a chance to talk to a real nigga a way that they never could in real life. Salute. We got Undead in the building. We got Valentine TV. Salute to you. Salute to you. Yeah, that's all Rex can say is shut up. Because, like I said, like you got a lot of these weird dudes like this that you'll never understand how their mind works. You'll never understand it. Unless like you pick their brain apart, literally. You'll never understand like why they're wired to be this way. Now you got this dude in the chat that's calling me racist when I don't even know what race he is. So and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got people like this, the Jake Harrows of the world, that literally, like, there's no sense to the things they do. Just like this dude down here. It's literally no sense, no logic to what he's doing. He's here just to troll and to try to throw us off topic, all because he supports Jake Harrow. And you can support Jake Harrow all you want. I just hope that whatever crimes you committing in the privacy of your home and behind closed doors, that it eventually comes to the light and you be in the same position as him. And I pray, Rex, that when you are in that same position, that you know how to fight. And if you don't know how to fight, I pray that you know how to swing a knife. Okay? We got wigs in the building. Yeah, because you got these weird trolls from all over the internet that are coming here all because they're mad that we're talking about a baby beater, a woman abuser, a baby unaliver, because these are things that they agree with. These are things that they've probably already done. Rex probably just got done putting hands on his girl. That's why he coming in here all upset, like what's wrong with that? What's wrong with what I be doing? Got it here, but it's so good for you. Facts. Salute. Salute, Drew. Yeah, but the topic at hand, you got these weird trolls that are coming here to distract you, but you can never distract me. You feel me? I'm very focused, I'm very driven, and I know what the mission is. I know what we're here to do, and right now we talking about Jake Harrow. So if you support him, you in the wrong chat, okay? You in the wrong chat. You need to go over there with the baby beaters and the woman abusers. We don't do that over here. Okay? But you got this dude literally, like, every chance he get, he complaining about something. His shoulder hurt. That all we want to know from you, we don't give a damn what you got to say, Jake. We don't care what you got to say. We don't care how your shoulder feels, how your wrists feel. We don't care how your heart feels right now. We want to know where baby Emmanuel is at. But guess what? You don't even have the balls to admit what you did. You done did this heinous ass crime, and now you got all types of news sources, even the sheriff's department and the DA trying to tell us that the Perkins operation didn't happen or whatever. And for those of y'all in the chat that don't know what a Perkins operation is, it's pretty much when they get a criminal informant, or it could be even a police officer that fake like an inmate. They'll put them in a cell there with you, and it's just literally just to get information about your case, because you got people that are real, you feel me, tight-lipped about their shit, and which you should be. When you get locked up, that's the number one thing that your lawyer tell you to do. Don't talk about your case with nobody. But you got a lot of people that when they get there, a lot of these dudes, like, you feel me, like they feel like they need to or whatever because it'll make them fit in. They feel like they need to because they gotta try to show that they got the same type of level of criminality, that they willing to take it there with you or whatever. But somebody like Jake, I'm sure that he would do it out of fear, you know. All it takes is somebody intimidating to come start asking them questions. And of course, he's a habitual pathological liar. So he's not going to tell exactly what he did. He's going to tell because he knows nobody's going to respect that. In prison, you tell somebody that you murder somebody in cold blood, you'll get some respect. You'll get some respect. But Jake talking about what he did to his kids, ain't nobody going to respect that. They're going to be trying to put you down the first chance they get. So a dude like Jake, he'll try to spin the story. He's going to make it seem like, because he already knows that this is a high profile case. Everybody knows who you are before you got there. So it's not like you can tell them, like, you know what I'm saying, that you in there for assault or you in there for shoplifting. Now everybody already knows what you in there for. So you can't fake the funk with that. But the fact that we don't know exactly what happened because we haven't found the body yet, you can spin the story. And that's what he's trying to do. So when they say the Perkins operation didn't happen, I don't believe that. I believe it did happen. Did he tell the truth about it? Nah, of course he didn't. Because there's nothing tough about what he did. Nobody's going to respect that. Nobody's going to respect you telling the details of what you did to your kids. How you unalived your kids. How your kids are not here no more because of you. How all of your kids got taken out of your custody. Don't you find it funny that when his 10-week-old daughter was abused in the way that he abused her, and this is YouTube, so we can't get into all specifics, but y'all seen what he did with the cracked ribs, the brain hemorrhage, and the fact that she only has 3% brain function for the rest of her life and cerebral palsy for the rest of her life. She's pretty much bedridden for life. So you seen what he did, but when it was time to come the truth and to talk about it with his wife, he couldn't even admit it. He couldn't even admit what he did. But listen at the timeline in which it happened. This was abuse that was going on over time, okay? This was going on, thank you, whoever got such and such out the chat. But this was abuse that was going on over time, okay? So it's not like this incident was the first time that he actually put hands on his child. This was just the time that things got super out of control. He had already beat the crap out of this child until like the child suffered injuries like cracked ribs that the doctors they saw once she got there to the hospital that time. They saw that these heels had already started healing up, showing that he's been doing this. He been doing that, okay? But guess what? His wife at the time, Vanessa, she left literally to take one of her other kids to school. So she taking a kid to school, and guess what? She was gone, she said, about 40 minutes. 40 minutes. She noticed something was wrong with her daughter when she got home, okay? So when she got home, by the way, we will be reading all super chat. Shout out to the Rugerverse, you heard? When she got home, after being gone for 40 minutes, less than an hour, she noticed something was wrong with her daughter. She had asked Jake about like what was going on. He made it seem like nothing happened. None. But then when they was after a few hours, when they laid down to go to rest, guess what? The baby started convulsing. The baby started seizing. She was having a seizure. That's when she asked Jake. She said, Jake, what's going on? Like what's happening? That's when he told her, I dropped the baby in the sink. And y'all know the sink, you know what I'm saying, that got dual sides. You got one side over here, and then you got the other side. He talking about he dropped the baby in the centerpiece. Mind you, this dude is a pathological liar. That's not what happened. But listen, that's what he said happened, okay? But my thing is, even if that was what happened, because I know that you beat the crap out that baby. Mind you, 10 weeks old. 10 weeks old. Beat the shit out of her. Even though we know that's not what happened, why did you wait till just now that the baby is having a seizure to mention that? You don't think that's something that you should have said from the freaking beginning? Soon as she got back home, so y'all could have rushed to the hospital. But guess what? As soon as the baby started seizing and you told her what happened, that's when she said, we got to go to the hospital. And you know what Jake said? He said, nah, we not going to the hospital. She called her mom, told her mom what was going on. Her mom had to talk her into going to the hospital. Because Jake, he had that power, that manipulation over her, where when he said something, she just listened. She just listened. So he told her, we not going to the hospital. And then he threatened her and told her, and if you do try to take her to the hospital, I'm going to make sure that all your kids get taken away and that you die in jail. But the funny part is, everything that you wished on her is exactly what happened to your dumbass. Exactly what happened to your dumbass. Because all of your kids got taken away. And look at you. Now you in a position where you about to die in jail. And luckily you in Gavin Newsom's California, so they don't have the death penalty except for exceptions. And the DA already said that they reached out and tried to see if they could get an exception. And of course they got denied. But I think that's a good thing. Because I want you to spend your life in prison. I want you to see what that's like. Being in prison as a baby unaliver, I can't even imagine. Because that's the first thing. Whenever you get a roommate, whenever you go into a new dorm and people want to see your paperwork, you ain't even got to show none of that. Because you a high profile case. Everybody watching your case on the news step by step. And guess what? In California, I know it's a whole lot of angry inmates that's sitting there in the day room watching you on the TV, watching how bitch made you are and how you won't even tell these people where the kid is. Even though you did what you did, you don't even have the balls, the gall to tell these people where they could find that kid so that they could lay that kid to rest properly. You won't even do that much. So guess what? You got a whole bunch of angry inmates that's watching. They watching every step of the way. And they waiting all over California state prisons. They waiting. They like, yeah, I hope they put him in my cell. They're like, yeah, wait till he touch down. And they got plans for you. They got plans for you. And I think that's exactly what you need. Death would be way too easy, you know? Yeah, that only happens one time. You die and that's it. You need to experience what those children experience for the rest of your life. You need to be tortured. Literally. You need to spend the rest of your life in fear. The same way those kids lived in fear. Baby Emmanuel, for those 7 months of his life. Your daughter, for the 2 months of her life that you ruined to the point where her life is ruined forever. She's bedridden forever. She'll never have the quality of life that God blessed her with because of what you decided to do to her. You need to feel that for the rest of your life. That same fear, that same anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen to you. You need to feel, I know dudes in there that they used to get anxiety whenever they hear that door unlock. Whenever that door will unlock, they get anxiety. You know why? Because now they know they fair game. A lot of times you got dudes that are going their room early. After they shower, shave, all that, they go in their room early and tell the CO to lock the door behind them during rec time. That's going to be Jake. It's going to be rec time. Everybody out there enjoying their rec. They're going to be out there playing spades. They're going to be out there shooting dice. They're going to be out there chilling, talking, you know what I'm saying, trapping, doing whatever they doing out there. And Jake, he going to be in there trying to get the door locked real quick. You're not going to be able to have nothing. You're not going to be able to have no food because every time you get something, guess what? Everything is going to be taken from you. Everything going to be taken from you. You better talk to Innovate. You better ask Innovate for some tips on how to survive it. Smooth, what up? Seabot in the building, salute. Man, you better ask Innovate for some tips because Jake Harrow, like the type of dude that you are, you not that tough. I can look in your eyes and see that it's only thing I see when I look in your eyes, I can see that you have no soul. But you ain't no tough dude. You tough to women and children. But guess what? It ain't no babies in prison. You're not gonna be able to put your hands on no baby when you get upset. And that's what I think that he got a fetish for. Like some of these dudes, like serial killers, they got their knacks, you know, like things that, and a lot of times it'd be like a sexual thing. They got these things, these quirks that turn them on, like when they hurting people. And I feel like he got that same kind of knack and quirk for hurting babies, shaking babies, stuff like that. And the fact that there's no babies in there, you're going to have a hard time. And I want you to have that hard time for the rest of your life. Because every time I hear this dude and Rebecca telling this story about a kidnapper, dog, we done already seen the surveillance footage of her at the store and she didn't even get out the car. So how you going to tell me somebody knocked her out? Would they punch through the glass? Was this a superhero? The girl said, mind y'all, the story from the beginning was so dumb. It was dumb, smooth. From the beginning, like this lady, like it was, I already knew it was some BS as soon as I heard her say that somebody ran up on her from behind and said, hola. Come on, son. Somebody ran up on her from behind and said, hola, and then clocked her. Like, come on, son. Like, if they gonna do it, why they gotta say hola? Like, why'd you even throw that in there? I really felt like you was being like trying to be funny and make it seem like it was somebody of Hispanic descent by just putting that in there. That's just you might as well said the motherfucker came up to you and said, what's up, my nigga? So then we would have thought, what? Oh, so yeah, the perpetrator got to be a black dude. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. That corny ass story. We broke that shit down in like 2 days, man. And then y'all over there hyperventilated with no tears. Please bring a baby. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut that dumb ass shit up. That's why y'all looking stupid now. And Rebecca over there, she's about to roll on you, bro. Rebecca about to roll on that manipulation. It's gonna wear off after a while, cause now you're not around her 24/7 like you used to be, where you could keep on tapping into that manipulation and recharging it, making sure that she's still in fear. You know, now she's around these, you know what I'm saying, like she's around these different women. Of course, like, you feel me, like she's isolated right now because all these women in there want to hurt her. But you don't think they can speak to her? Don't you know when we was in lockup, like that's what people be getting messed up about, like hearing terms like isolation, or they throwing them in the hole, or, you know what I'm saying, he's on total separation. They think that you don't talk to nobody. Even though I was in lockup for like a year, that don't mean I didn't talk to nobody. Literally, like, cause people they hear this stuff and they think it's literally like a cartoon where you're like thrown in the hole, like by yourself somewhere, like underground. It's not like that. Like you in regular cells, you just in a cell by yourself. But guess what? The cells neighboring you have people in it, and they're all on, and they in they in the hole too, nigga. Like they all in isolation too. So when we used to play chess, nigga, we used to be in the hole playing chess, nigga. You feel me, niggas? We would have, cause everybody that know how to play chess, you know how the board is labeled with numbers and letters. Nigga, we each have chessboards in our own room, shouting it through the door like E7 to G9, shit like that. So I'm saying, like people be thinking like nobody be talking to each other. People be talking. So when they act like a Perkins operation couldn't have happened with Jake, it definitely could have, because it don't even have to happen in the cell. This could happen in a booking area where he's talking to an inmate that he thinks, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's confiding in or something like that. This could happen in a holding cell right before he comes into the courtroom. This could happen damn near anywhere. It don't have to happen directly in a cell. This could be a trustee that's bringing him his tray through the flap and talking to him at his flap. Just because he's isolated don't mean people can't talk to him. It just means they can't get to him necessarily. Yet. But that's all coming to an end too. And y'all gonna see that soon. Y'all gonna hear the stories about Jake getting poked. they gonna say recent baby unaliver Jake Harrow has reportedly gotten 88 stitches and he's been stabbed 89 times. Y'all gonna hear the stories because nobody's gonna play with you. Nobody's gonna play with you. He gonna try the manipulation tactics, and mind you, you got a lot of dudes like that. Especially like, you feel me, like if you a weakling, you know, even if you not, but somebody like him that's not gonna be able to fend for himself, he gonna have to try to use those manipulation tactics to try to, you know what I'm saying, avoid getting hurt in there. But it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because your charges is gonna overpower all of that. Nobody wanna hear that. Nobody wanna hear nothing you got to say. Nothing you got to say. And Rebecca, shame on you. Shame on you. Because when I see, don't you know, in Rebecca's jailhouse interview, she had the nerve to say, Jake is a great father. He would never hurt a child. That shit damn near made me fucking throw my water bottle at the fucking windshield. Like, yo, what the fuck is you talking about? This dude is literally on probation for hurting a child. Well, what are you talking about? He would never hurt a child. We got Lisa in the building. Salute. Welcome to the Rugerverse. He's literally on probation for hurting a child. And you gonna sit up here and tell me he would never hurt a child? And you gonna sit up here and act like you don't know that? When you met him, he was on probation. Be for real. That's why I think, like, eventually, like, Rebecca's gonna snap out of it, because I really think that Jake, he's carrying on this manipulation through, because I mean, of course he can't talk to her directly, but don't you think if me and Jake, if Jake and Rebecca both are cool with Lisa Wilson, right? Jake and Rebecca both are cool with Lisa Wilson. So when Jake makes his phone call and he talks to Lisa, you don't think Lisa could translate messages, you know what I'm saying, back and forth between them? A lot of times that's how it happens when couples are locked up together. And especially since they not in the same facility, it would have been much easier for them to talk to each other like that. It's easy to get a member of the staff to pass a message or to slide a kite to one of the females. But it's different now that they're not in the same facility. But all you got to do is know some of the same folks. And of course, they married. They know a lot of the same folks. Look at that crooked ass grandma. Only thing about grandma, she can't stand Jake apparently, which is odd about her, because with all the love and concern she seemed to be showing, right, for baby Emmanuel, it came out eventually that she said she never even met him. She never even met Emmanuel. And part of it is due to the fact that she didn't never get along with Jake. She didn't like Jake because she could see through him. Just like most people that are on the outside of that relationship. I think that Rebecca just spent a lot of time getting high with this dude, and that makes it easy for her to be manipulated. She getting high with him. When they look up baby Emmanuel, because one of my questions was, and I'm sure a lot of y'all asked the same question, because we talked about it all through the chats. One of my main questions about CPS was, I'm like, yo, y'all been coming to the house like for different reports, but why haven't y'all, because we're hearing that they came to the house to check on a 2-year-old. But my thing is, why weren't y'all coming to check on baby Emmanuel? Because they just came recently. Like literally the day before she reported that he got kidnapped, CPS was by the house. They got called. So it had me thinking, I'm like, why wouldn't they check on baby Emmanuel? But now I understand that there was never any hospital records for baby Emmanuel. A lot of Rebecca's family didn't even know baby Emmanuel existed. A lot of people in general that were close to them didn't even know he was alive. They didn't even know about him. The grandmother knew about him. She just stayed away because she couldn't stand Jake. I'm talking about everybody else. They didn't even know he existed. And I'm like, how could that be? How is there no vaccination records for this baby? There's a number of shots that the baby has to get, you feel me, within the first few weeks of its existence. How were there no hospital records of this baby? But then I came to the conclusion that they had to have this baby at home. And then I thought, I'm like, why would they do that though? Like, why wouldn't they make sure, like, because they're not in the best financial position. It's not like they having a baby in a pool, you feel me, with candles lit and the mood right. They don't have money like that. This, mind you, this is Jake, a Walmart employee. No shade to Walmart employees, but this is like the shadiest of the Walmart employees. This is a dude that's been living off of his shoulder injury and scamming Walmart to continue. he just been milking it. He been trying to scam Walmart every time it's time to go back to work. He just be like, oh, my shoulder. I think it's gotten worse. Get the fuck out of here, bro. And he been doing that for a while. So I'm like, it can't be that they just had like the money, the resources, that they just decided, oh, we just gonna do this at home. No, I think it's because Rebecca's on drugs. I think it's because they both strung out. I think they was both strung out, and they knew that if they and probably drinking too, because with all the stuff that Jake put Vanessa through, one of her children had I forget the name of the actual condition, but it's a condition that's induced by drinking while you're pregnant. It was something alcoholic syndrome that the baby was born with, which makes me think, Jake, you putting this girl through all the same stuff, and not just saying that you to blame for whatever she's got going on, because I'm pretty sure she's to blame for a lot of it too. You feel me? But I'm sure that a lot of people are saying y'all are meth heads. That's it right there. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's alcohol fetal syndrome. And one of Vanessa's children were born with that. Which makes me think that Rebecca isn't too far off from the state of mind or condition that it seems like Vanessa was in, that you put her in or whatnot. Mind you, I'm not putting all the blame on you, because these women have, you know what I'm saying, freedom of choice too. They didn't have to do these things, but dealing with a dude like you is very possible. So I'm thinking that Vanessa and Rebecca both were going through some of the same things. And yeah, Rebecca was probably drinking too. And not to mention the accusations that y'all are meth heads. And knowing that, if y'all went to the hospital and had the baby like that, Rebecca would have been her ass locked the fuck up. That's why I think there's no records of baby Emmanuel. That's why I think there's no birth certificate for baby Emmanuel. That's why I think CPS didn't even know to come check for him. And that's why I think that y'all MFers thought that y'all could get away with unaliving him. Because you thought that nobody would really give a F, because nobody even knew about him. But you didn't know that Reek Ruger would get hold of this case. You didn't know that Ahmed on the Tita would get a hold of this case. You didn't know that SF Investigates would get a hold of this case. You didn't know that JLR Investigates would get a hold of this case. And you didn't know that this case would sweep the damn nation. You thought that this was going to stay in your little backyard of Yucaipa, California, in the backwoods where y'all smoke y'all meth and call it a damn day. You thought you was going to be able to sweep this case under the rug, and that sweet old baby Emmanuel's existence would just fade into the abyss and nobody would give a damn. But guess what? Where y'all lacked at being the parents that y'all should have been and taking care of Emmanuel and caring for that baby and making sure it was loved, that's where we stepped in, and we became his parents. We became Promise's parents, and we're the ones that are sticking up for them. Because I don't see why nobody has ever spoken out against this judge, Judge Moore, that looked Jake Harrow in the face after looking at the case files, after looking at the pictures of what he did to his daughter. I can't believe that he looked Jake Harrow in his face and told him that I think you deserve an extra break. You think he deserved what? An extra break? When he done broke 8 of her ribs? You gotta be kidding me. You thought he deserved the extra break. I know people that's sitting in there right now that didn't even do what they've been accused for, and they didn't get an extra break. I know people in there right now that had a dime of crack or a point of heroin, and they doing years. This dude beat a child until she got 3% brain function left, and you said that dude deserved an extra break. I think you deserve to get something broke on your body, Judge. And then let somebody tell the person that did that to you that they I think you deserve an extra break. That's what I'm saying. Like, why doesn't America care about the kids? Especially California. I'm putting a spotlight on y'all because nobody made a fuss about this. And this happened 7 years ago. Nobody made a fuss about it. Everybody just let it rock. Like, oh, you win some, you lose some. The fuck? Man, hell no. Where's my fucking vape, man? I couldn't believe that ish. And then this dude got the nerve to still be a judge. He got some nerve. How the hell you still... Man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's get to the chat. They ratted themselves out doing that news conference. Nobody knew this baby was missing. Facts. Facts. And to be honest, Lisa, I think the only reason they did the news conference is not because there was any record of the baby, but they knew that there were certain people that did know baby Emmanuel existed. And they had to do that to cover their tracks. They just thought that was going to be enough to appease the handful of people. They just didn't know that this case was going to grow legs and take over, you feel me, all of the news networks and even now all of social media. What is the issue? The issue is Jake Harrow. The issue is Rebecca Harrow. The issue is Vanessa Avina. These parents are the issue. Cocoon Life in the building. Salute. Don't forget the DA didn't give Jake the correct charges. What are the... That's another point, Mike Heastron. There's another charge that he could have gave Jake or whatnot outside of attempted murder, because I think that's the proper charge. I think attempted murder is the proper charge for what he did. But there's another charge that he could have gave, and I forget the exact charge. But that charge would have resulted in Jake having to do life for what he did. For the fact that he damaged that child for the rest of her life, he would have had to do life. And the judge's hands would have been tied. He wouldn't have been able to tell him, I cut you an extra break. But yeah, the DA, he undercharged him massively. Tremendously undercharged him. And a lot of times that's because they don't really... That's just like the Diddy trial. You see Diddy on trial for all these damn things, right? Nobody's bringing up the kids that he's involved with. Nobody's bringing up any of the kids that he's involved with. When we talk about the Epstein files, Trump told us to forget about it. Whenever it comes to the kids, that's always what it comes down to. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Trump had the nerve to say, y'all are still talking about Epstein? Yeah, nigga. Nobody's been convicted. What the hell? What the hell? Nobody's been convicted. I can see if at least half the people on the list have been convicted and are serving time. And then you tell us 7-8 years later, you say, y'all still talk about Epstein? Then it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Now you got some ground to stand on. But the fact that nobody's been convicted, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course we talking about it. Of course. Why wouldn't we be talking about the shit? Nothing has happened. Don't worry, Jake the Snake is going to get some breaks inside. No, definitely. He going to get the brakes beat off him. Jake is going to be looking like a damn chunk of Swiss cheese. I don't believe that Jake will survive the whole life sentence, but I just hope that he at least makes it like through a decade, you know? This goes out to any of my folks in prison that are watching, that may see this. Just let him, don't get him out of here too quickly, you know? Let him endure it, like over time, slowly. Take your time. Just every day something different, you know? One day it be then the next day it be then the next day just pound them out. Next day, well, every day, make sure he don't, whenever they bring his canteen or he go to the store, make sure you take his bag, leave him with nothing, you know. When they bring his trays because he can't get no canteen, make sure that you spit in it or just take it completely so he starves. You know, things like that. Just a few ideas. Just a few ideas. Robin Dale says the charge they should have charged them with holds a mandatory life sentence. It's something like child abuse of a child under 8. Exactly. That's almost spot on with the exact charge that it was. Thank you, Robin. That's like the description that you just gave is literally almost spot on with the charge that they described that he was supposed to get. Not child cruelty, in which this judge had the option of telling him, oh, you could cut you a break. How 6 months work release? Shut the that man. I looked at that judge like, when I see his picture, I'm like what's wrong with you? Do you not like? And mind you, like he's a gray-haired man. I'm assuming he has kids. I'm assuming this dude has kids. So the fact that I'm looking at you, like, you feel me? Like you're a mature, older gentleman. You probably got kids in college, stuff like that. You didn't think about your kids when you, come on, man. That's evil as hell. Chat, just bear with me for a moment. So you're the judge in this case. And of course, you want to go into this unbiased. You try to compartmentalize your work and not take it home with you. But come on, chat. Once you see these pictures of a girl that's cross-eyed from shaken baby syndrome, red ligatures around her neck from strangulation, more broken bones than you can count on one hand. And the fact that she has the inability to walk, talk, or even feed herself, or even breathe on her own. Can you imagine yourself sending that dude home after doing 1 day in jail? Like, for real. Hold on, let me put this on the charger real quick. I still got some more I want to say to y'all. Can you imagine sending that dude home back to some more kids? The judge, they didn't even order for the child to be removed. They sent them back. And Vanessa's cousin wound up adopting the 2 kids that were there. That wasn't court ordered. That was a family decision. But yeah, now Vanessa's unable to have her kids because of, you feel me, drinking while pregnant, all that stuff. Like, it's shameful as hell. Shameful as hell. Salute to Nando. Nando got a new job. Everybody salute Nando, man. Hard working man. But yeah, shout out to the Rugerverse. I missed y'all. I knew we had to come in here and have a quick conversation, touch up on some things that have been going on for the week. Chris Autumn, salute. Glad to see you a part of the live. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on some things, do like a end of the week recap on what we've been talking about, and we've been real heavy into this Emmanuel Harrow case because I'm invested. I'm heavily invested. Like, everything I'm saying is extra heartfelt. Like, I really feel for these kids, these babies in this situation with a grown man and woman that for the life of them, they won't stand up and defend nothing. They only worry about defending themselves. But salute to y'all. It's always a pleasure. Shout out to the Rugerverse. Get your memberships today, y'all. I'm telling you, get early access to that content before it drops. You feel me? You'll be first to see it, first to know. Go ahead and copy your memberships today and show that extra support to the Rugerverse. Until next time, it is your boy Reek Ruger, and I am your voice. Salute.